Welcome out to Radio Row, Los Angeles Football Network Live. We are doing the Bruin Bible live, and we are joined by a UCLA legend, my main man, Brian Price. What is going on, brother?
How you doing? Appreciate the introduction, but I'm just another guy, man.
Dude, I mean, you're not another dude. You were the PAC-10 Defensive Player of the Year, bro. I mean, we got to put some respect on your name, my man.
I appreciate that.
You know, and we were huge Bruins football fans, and you were one of the targets that we wanted to get on for the show because Bruin fans, they listen, they're, you know, remembering the good times, the new Heisel times with you there, and man, we're just honored to have you, man. It's gonna be great.
Appreciate it. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, I want to go back to the beginning, man. You were a 4-star prospect coming out of high school. You could have chosen a lot of different places to go. I know it came down to USC and UCLA. What made you, go to the Bruins, man? Because at that time, USC was very much the dominant powerhouse within the city of Los Angeles.
I mean, it was a lot of people were just going there. You know, it was kind of like how people choose Alabama over wherever because they want to win a national championship. Or I was more concerned with getting a shovel in my hand and building a foundation, and being a part of something greater. You know, anybody can be a part of, jump on a bandwagon and just get an easy win or whatever. But I wanted to go, and when I took my trip to Westwood, I've never been there.
So nice.
I went to Crenshaw High, and I'd never been to that part of town. And so when I saw it, I was like, man, this is real cool. It's like a gym inside of the city, so.
Definitely. Was New Heisel kind of recruiting you like the hardest at that point in time?
It was actually Carl Durrell.
Carl Durrell, the legend.
He was there my first. He recruited me there, and he was on there my first year, and then we got New Heisel.
Yeah, man. Durrell, legend, now still coaching in Colorado. But you got into UCLA, and it was kind of like an instantaneous thing. The success was there. How were you staying after practice, putting in reps, or what was kind of your key to your success when you were at UCLA?
It kind of just came easy, it was just like natural. But I just always played with like a purpose. I lost my brothers and my sister.
Rest in peace. I
just always thought about family, or I just always prayed before a game and like, come play with me, let's have fun,
Hell
so
yeah.
I just take my anger out on the field rather than in the streets, So
it's a healthy way to do it, man.
Yeah, so football was just an escape. And I just ended up being good at it, I wish I was like a student of the game more, like knowing X's and O's and really like putting the time in because you see it pays off. But like my drive was only so long because I wasn't really in love with the game like that, especially when you get to the league.
It's a full-time job, bro. Yeah,
it's a full-time job, and it's just business. Whenever money is involved, like in college, you just play. The game is free. You get 4 years, 5 years, whatever. You make lifelong friends with the league, Some people on your team don't like you, or it's just business,
Yeah.
It sucks, So I just kind of like stopped playing, I wasn't because I wasn't good or whatever. I was just like, my heart wasn't in it no more.
That's fair, man. Yeah, and it's easy to kind of lose the love when it's just like you're going there, the coaches get on your ass too. Like I dealt with that as, growing up, and it's, man, if you had like a coach you don't really mess with, like makes it not fun to be there. You know what I mean? So, but I'm going to take it over to my guy, Madman, who's got some questions.
Brian, such a great insight in terms of kind of the love of the game at the college level versus professional. I'd love to get your take on what do you think about these sort of rule changes now with the transfer portal and name, image, and likeness? How do you think that's going to kind of evolve the college game?
Man, I don't really know much about the transfer portal. Sorry. Too busy raising kids over here.
Good reason not to know.
Absolutely.
But the name, image, likeness, I know a little bit about that. You can make money off your name or whatever. That's huge. But, like, it should be like a cap. You shouldn't be able to make too much.
Yes.
Too much too early is a problem. But, man, who am I to judge? Like, people getting paid before. Look at Eric Dickerson at SMU,
We were actually just talking about
the famous gold Pontiac Trans Am. Yeah.
The craziest thing with that is it came from Texas A&M too, and then he went to SMU. So the boosters paid like at that time like $50,000. So like that's 80s money. Like that'd be like $100K now. And he's like, hey man, thanks for the car. Like I'm going to play for the Mustangs. Like dude just dipped out on him real quick.
Bro,
but
they've been doing that since the beginning of the time, paying players. So we might as well just make it legal now.
It's over the table now.
Yeah, so that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
What is the transfer portal? So what's the rules of that?
Well, Brian, now I'm sure as in your day when you wanted to, if players and teammates wanted to, say, transfer out of UCLA or transfer into UCLA, they had to sit out a year and then transfer the following year. And now they've made it where you can play right away. You don't have to wait the year.
That's dope. So is it even within the conference?
Even within the conference.
That's
yeah.
huge.
Absolutely.
Dang, you gonna have guys jumping over to rival schools and all type of shit.
Exactly. that's kind of been the case with with some of the stuff that's going on with UCLA and SC. Guys are hopping in and out. It's maybe 30 players. There's a kind of turnover of 30 players at this point,
Really?
sort of consistently. And so
that's a good thing for players, but it's also like it's good and bad. It can be scary too. You can lose your whole roster.
Exactly.
Like, and then have to rely on some poo butts, what
right.
Even your poo butts are leaving and going transferring and shit, So it's like, damn, that can be scary.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not treating players right, or look what happened at Hawaii.
Right.
Right.
Oh, that whole thing fell super quick.
Man, abuse and I was like,
yeah,
Right.
dude.
It was him or something.
Something was going on there, man. It wasn't good. I can say that
Yeah.
it wasn't good.
If a guy for more than 2 or 3 guys that complain about something,
Something's going on.
it's
For sure.
The culture.
How do you think, and a lot of people have kind of described it as this culture of unlimited free agency in college football now. Coaches are really worried that they have to sort of keep selling players every day, even when not just when they've come to the school, but even when they're there to keep them.
It's kind of like an AAU basketball
Right,
field, right?
exactly.
Fact. Players work every day.
Exactly.
Coaches should too, but to a certain extent, you should. Loyalty is big too.
Exactly.
If a guy commit, you should want him to stay the whole time. But look how they turn over head coaches.
Right. Right.
You can get a head coach for a year or two, and then they fire. Now somebody else coming. I had Carl Durrell and then Neuheisel. It's and then you get position coaches here and there. So it's hard on the players too.
Yeah.
So it should be they should have something better in place.
Yeah.
I hate switching head coaches. Philosophies and just temperaments, everything. It's, you may not like a guy, and I remember, and then the movies they choose before games. I remember we had to watch Glory.
Yeah.
You're sleeping in the back watching that before the game. Yeah.
We getting ready for war.
Yeah.
This movie is okay, but it's not really my cup of tea.
Right.
That's a long movie
It
too.
is. The Denzel tier is cool. It's
Oh.
acting skills, but
That's a single tier, man. That was kind of the moment where Denzel was on the pantheon of greatest actors. That's one of the actors that I could just sit around and just watch. Training Day, John Q.
For sure.
Remember the Titans was kind of my one growing up.
Book of Eli is dope. I was just watching it on the other day.
Book
Love
of
it.
Eli's badass, dude. Yeah.
Training Day. Yeah, that one
Yeah. Oh yes.
Training
Yes.
Days.
I don't like that one. He shouldn't have got an Oscar.
Oscar for that one. Oh, that's fair.
I'll
That's
put
fair.
you all you bums in Pelicans Bay. And he's just looking at the end. Just
But it was something different to that plot. I think it was more heaven and hell. Denzel had to be crooked to take it. If
That's
you
what made
read
Genius.
between the lines, Denzel was the devil in that movie.
Oh,
he
for
was,
sure.
yeah.
And then if you look at it, he was get your ink. It was death is for certain. Death is for certain. Life isn't. You know what I'm saying? Everybody dies, but not everybody lives.
True.
This is a test here. And I forgot the co-star name, but he was supposed to be Jesus in that movie.
Yeah, Ethan
Yeah,
Hawke,
Ethan
I
Hawke.
think it was.
Yeah.
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 You sound like a movie guy.
I know.
You movie buff?
I just look at things good and evil, Star Wars. It's all
I
just
love Star Wars.
Yeah.
it's all the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Decepticons and whatever.
Transformers, yeah.
It's all in every movie.
Yeah, my man.
They all just take good versus evil.
For sure.
Just look at it like that in life. A seed has to be planted in something bigger than itself in order to grow.
Yes.
And so lately I've just been working on myself, my spirituality, and
Good,
a
man,
peach,
yeah.
A peach seed cannot be planted in a teacup. It won't grow at all. So I just plant myself in God and my family and love, and you started seeing stuff different. But as that seed, you can either feel like you're being planted or you're being buried.
Wow.
Facts,
You know,
man.
it's
Yeah.
like how you look at it.
You're taking the healthy routes. You took your anger out on football. You're doing that, your spirituality and stuff like that, man. That's a credit to you, man, for being smart enough to realize that
I
because
wasn't always smart though.
we all make mistakes,
Hard-headed,
my man.
Brian, how's life been after football? You seem so grounded and centered, and what a wonderful world perspective you have.
It's been hell. It's been cool. I got a lovely wife and 3 kids.
Yeah.
Mom that loves me, my dad. Family is the most important thing. like we have too much here as human beings. Like we don't know what's important.
Yes.
You know, so when you just take a step back, like I had to ask myself one day, I was like, man, if I had to get up and leave today, like what would I take? You know, you got a house full of stuff, you know, you got cars. Like if you had to leave and never come back, what would you take? You'll just load your family up. That's the only thing that really matters.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
not
like,
a possession, you know.
Yeah.
That is the possession,
like,
you
Yeah.
know.
it's like,
So
man, you got family. If you're lucky enough to have one, but you also have mom and sister. You came from somewhere, so you got some sort of family. But me and my kids are important. So like at the football, it's kind of hard. It's not easy being a parent. You know? Especially on time to yourself or. Like I had to go to this NFL experience today. Like I did not want to do it. But they say happy wife, happy life.
Right.
Like,
Yes, I understand that well. Yes.
Yeah, man. I'm like, damn, I really gotta do this. Like, I told myself I'm not listening to her no more. She always come with these grand ideas to want to do stuff, and I go with the flow until it's time to do it. I'm like, damn, I know I'm not a real people person like that. Now I got a whole bunch of people. And we've been here since early too, so I'm like, it's time to go.
Right.
hey, man, I feel it. I want to touch back on your UCLA career, man. You were all Pac-10 first team in 2008, and then 2009 came. I'm looking at the stats right now, dude. 23 and a half tackles for a loss and 7 sacks, bro. Like, my standards, well, if they got more tackles for a loss than games played, the dude was balling out. You almost had 2 tackles for a loss per game, bro.
Yeah, I didn't really know how big that was until I almost broke Carnell Lake's record.
Yeah, man.
You know, and I wasn't there that long, and I left early, so I was like, man, that's pretty. It's the same as getting a sack, pretty much. You know?
For sure.
Disruption, bro. That's what they preach, man. You blow up a play on 4th and 1, 3rd and 1. You know, you make that stop.
I always like getting off the ball. We just compete at who can get off the ball first. Or a guy just blessed me with a quick first step, and some freight to come through with the rest. You know what I'm saying? And it was just fun playing in the Rose Bowl and kind of going to war with your comrades. You know what I'm saying?
Your boys.
For sure.
Yeah, man.
Brian, how are you thinking about kind of the future of UCLA football, and what's your kind of sense of it?
It was cool. I mean, it's cool. They wearing Jordan now. You know, Adidas.
Yes.
They hooking you up with gear, by the way? They better be.
If I go up there, they said I got to go up there and get some gear.
You're in town, my man.
Yeah.
I'll go up there probably Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, you ain't passing on the Jordan stuff. I can't do it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's way better than Adidas. Sorry, Adidas.
Yeah.
But no, watching them this past year, they did really good. I was kind of bummed out they didn't get to play in a bowl game. I guess they didn't play the cards right with that. And it was just weird with COVID and everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tough time for
COVID
everybody,
is
man.
weird, you know.
Yeah.
It's strange. It's really strange.
For
Yeah,
sure.
dude.
For sure. How do you think kind of the team's going to evolve over time? What do you think kind of maybe needs to happen for UCLA to kind of make that next step, you know?
I mean, to be a national contender,
Yep.
you got to be lights out with defense,
Mhm.
you know,
Great.
and you got to really be solid on offense, you know what I'm saying? No offense to Chip, even when he was at Oregon, defense wasn't always the first priority.
Right.
You know, and my bad if I offend you, Chip. You know? Got nothing but love for you, but just keeping it real. Defense is not a focal point of his teams, I think. You know, they beat us when we played them when he was at Oregon. They do all that trickery stuff and whatever, but
Michael James, stuff like that.
and they got quick players. But what if you don't have those kind of athletes? You know, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
But it's not hard implementing hard-nosed defense. You know, keep it simple. You know, I just always did my job. I couldn't do the linebacker's job. A D lineman, just do your job.
Right.
You preach that. That's why the Patriots are always look what he did with Mac
Do your
Jones.
job. Literally, that's
Yeah.
Belichick's statement right there.
Do your
yeah.
job, nothing else.
Yeah.
And, you got people just trying to do too much. You know, just do your job, and the plays that come to you.
Absolutely,
You
man.
know, you want to make. If you rush to make plays, they won't come to you. But if you just play the game the right way, it'll always come, you know.
Man, well, I'm going to start a campaign. UCLA needs a defensive coordinator. Why not our guy BP right
Yeah,
here?
there we go.
Man,
You're preaching the success on how to get
Who
a
better to
successful
be
defense.
UCLA DC than, Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Year? That sort
He
of
knows
makes
it.
sense, right? I mean,
He can recruit around here too.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
the instant credibility.
Yeah, I'll help out. I can volunteer. You know, I want to learn the game. You know, like
Absolutely.
I can be a student of the game, learn how it all works. Like I don't think that's possible. Well, anything is possible. You can come off the streets and get a good job. I'm not saying that, but I just I will.
Would you have any interest in it? Like if you were just like maybe not even defensive coordinator, but like D-line coach. Like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
But you know, coaches, man, they put in a lot of hours.
Yeah.
People don't see it, man. They there before and after the players. You know, like if you got
True.
family. Like, it's not easy being a coach. You
For
know?
sure.
Wow,
And-
Sean McVay, we're hearing
Yeah,
this too
there's
this
all
week.
that.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
heard the story, but like he's 37. He's one of the youngest coaches in the NFL. He's already kind of leaning towards maybe getting burned out. He needs time with his family, things
Yeah,
like
man,
that,
it's
bro.
rough, man. People that spend their whole life coaching and they really miss their kids growing up. And this football is year round, no matter what people say. Like you got spring ball and camp and then the season,
Recruiting.
you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
And so, you know, one of my good friends, Courtney Viney, he played at UCLA.
Yeah.
And he's coaching at San Jose now. Congrats to him. But
Shout him
you know,
out. Yeah.
He's
He's a grinder. Yeah.
grinder, man. That shit's rough. So I was like, I don't know if I do college football.
VP, I want to ask you, you know, in LA, when you think of kind of LA sports, you think of UCLA basketball and you think of USC football, right?
Yeah.
What do you think it's going to take for UCLA to kind of become football first and for maybe UCLA football to exceed USC football?
Man, that was it was kind of like that when I was in high school. I went to Crenshaw High,
Yeah.
and our basketball team was like just world renowned. You know?
Yes.
I've heard of y'all, man. You guys are
We
really good.
never won, like loving basketball and whatnot. You know?
Yeah.
Were you there with DeRozan?
No, DeRozan didn't go to Crenshaw.
You didn't go to, he's from Crenshaw, though, right?
No,
No.
Probably Compton. I think he's from
Yeah.
Compton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, he didn't go to Crenshaw. I would have definitely saw him.
Yeah.
Who were some of the players that made it out of Crenshaw High?
The Anthony Thomas.
Oh, yeah. Black
Brandon
Mamba.
Ebang. Yeah, we got some guys, man, that come out. Sorry if I don't mention everybody, but it's a lot of guys.
No, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's just gonna come together one day. It's hard work and everybody believing.
Yeah.
Like when I was in high school, we lost our accreditation, and players started leaving. And it's kind of like both champions, like those that stay will be champions. You know?
Yeah.
And we lost like 3 preseason games, and we end up going to the championship and winning.
Yeah, man.
You know, and then I think my high school won like 5 more championships, I believe.
Yeah.
And so now we're like even with football and basketball. So
Yes.
that'll be the same thing with UCLA. You just keep on grinding and just everybody believe. And
Yeah.
Just put the work in and it'll happen. Because they got Lincoln Riley,
Right.
he's a good coach, but who says he's a good coach at SC?
Right.
You know what I'm
Ooh.
saying?
Yeah.
Like,
He hasn't coached a game yet, man.
yeah, I mean, you could be like, oh, he did so great at
Oklahoma. Yeah.
But it's like you coming here, the situation is different, you know, and then the pressure because of the money and
Yeah.
it's just LA. You already know how LA is. You got to win or go home type thing, and you ain't good.
Yeah, because BP, it's interesting when I look at it from, sort of an outsider's perspective a little bit. UCLA, more beautiful campus,
Facts.
just as good if not better facilities,
Facilities, I think,
Safer,
are
too.
better.
Safer.
Man, yeah.
Man, way better. Everything.
better school academically.
Better cheerleaders.
So
Keep going.
when you
Yeah.
sort of break it down piece by piece, there's nothing UCLA doesn't have that USC has, and you can argue that UCLA has sort of more of it. And so, what do you think it's going to kind of? I know you talked about kind of the belief, but let's say you were Martin Jarman for a day or a week or a month. And you were AD, and your goal was to say, okay, how can we really take UCLA football to that next level and be football first? What would you do? What would you? How would you kind of think through that? King for a day, VP.
Dang, that's rough because you need to be king for more than one.
Okay, king for a year.
But yeah, recruiting. But you got to remember, SC is a private school.
Yes.
So the rules are a little different, right? There,
Right.
Aren't they? Like you can get some dumber players. Or
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd say, yeah.
The rules are a little different. But nah, man, just you gotta people that you put out there recruit. You gotta have somebody that's relatable to the guy that you kind of trying to recruit. You
Exactly.
can't send no, stiff neck ends. No,
Proper dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you gotta really be down to earth and relatable. You gotta be dichroic.
Yeah.
Like a dichroic gym. Every angle you look at is a different color.
Wow.
That's like us, like humans. That's why they call us humans. Definition of a hue, various shades of a color.
Wow.
We have different emotions,
Yeah.
We're more than human, so you got to send somebody that can adapt to any situation. Like, I just start with recruiting.
Yes.
And just really winning, man, at all costs. Like, they got the Jordan now. Like, Oregon gets so many guys because of those uniforms.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So you got to really spend money to make money, I guess,
But that was a really, really profound point about the recruiting and how you need to be sort of multifaceted and relatable. That makes a lot of sense, and I think that's something that Chip's not really known for, and maybe we need to kind of get a dedicated recruiting coordinator that's relatable. There you go, BP.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
I think we found his job.
I think we
man.
found it.
Yeah.
We found it. BP, if you can kind of cut us in on that a little bit,
I
that'd be
got you.
amazing.
Some of that NIL money.
A little NIL money for us would be
We'll
great.
take it, man.
My agent. That's my agent. Yeah, I can do that.
I think we're like incredibly excited about UCLA next year because Dorian Thompson-Robinson is a guy that the ceiling for him as a quarterback, just what he's able to do as an athlete. Like, this guy could tangibly be in the Heisman candidacy if he plays his cards right. And then on top of that, you guys got Charbonnet coming back. They call this dude the Terminator for a reason. This guy's a badass, bro. Like, maybe the strongest legs I've seen since like Marshawn Lynch running the ball. Like, that dude's a problem.
That's dope right
What are
there.
your kind of expectations for 2022? Because I think these are as high as UCLA has been, and probably since more of the Josh Rosen recruiting class that didn't really pan out.
Yeah, that was kind of overhyped, I guess. But he still got drafted.
Top 10 too.
Yeah.
That was kind of rough too, but hopefully they win over 10 games. That'd be good.
Yeah.
And beat SC. That's all that really matters.
Yeah.
Beating SC, going to a good bowl game, and just build on that every year.
Absolutely.
My wife's mom always say you can't hit a grand slam at the first at bat or any at bat. Just get on base. Just start off with small goals to reach your long-term goals and
Keep building.
just keep building on that. It's like start off with a fun practice. Make sure practice is going well. That was like my biggest thing. Like, practice was kind of boring, and just felt like we were just getting beat up on. With rest in peace to Doc Crease. Our strength and conditioning coach was fun.
Doc Crease was his name.
Yeah, the first one. Then we got Mike Lynn. But you want to make that stuff fun. That's what kids like. Want to compete and do stuff like that, and so just all around, you just want to change the culture.
Totally.
You want to win at everything you do. Like, not on the outside of the pro. You don't want to compete with SC on how you do the weightlifting, but you want to compete with yourself. You know what the culture was before you came, and you want to change it. You want to change it within and compete with yourself.
Facts,
I'm gonna make this better. Nobody have to know on the outside, as long as you know on the inside what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
BP,
man.
one question I had for you. I know you've got a very interesting perspective on football alumni in the program at UCLA. Where do you think there's some gaps there, and where can we sort of improve to keep football alumni connected and engaged?
That's big right there. Probably hiring people just to reach out to alumni.
Wow. Yeah. It's come to that point, huh? Yeah.
Probably shoot, but we was just on WhatsApp. It's a bunch of guys on WhatsApp talking and whatnot.
Bunch of UCLA players keeping in contact.
Yeah, it's like 70-something guys.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's pretty dope, know. And then I ran into Altron Werner downstairs.
Yeah.
You
Former
know.
Bruin great right there.
Yeah, I should have had him on the show.
Man, collab.
Mr. Pick Six, right?
Mr. Pick Six, Mr. Pick Six,
Love
the Cal
it.
game.
Yeah,
Yep,
he
I
was
remember.
Awesome. Yeah.
Man, he's a beast. But man, I think it's on the players. If anybody out there listening, I think we should just. I know on WhatsApp they said we should just all show up to a game, and then just keep showing up. Because I know at SC they say you're a Trojan for life. You're only a Bruin for 4 years.
Wow.
That kind of stuck with me. When I was getting recruited, and then my wife said it all the time. But their alumni is tight over there. Hate to say it. By the way, when I get done with a Trojan, I flush it down the toilet.
That's a mic drop moment right there, BP. That's a mic drop moment.
Don't tell my wife that.
Well, man, I don't know the finalized plans, but we are going to have a massive tailgate with LA Football Network for this UCLA SC game this year. I think with Caleb Williams coming to SC, TTR and Charbonnet return. This will probably be the greatest game in the rivalry in quite some time. BP, the invitation's on the table. We'd love to have you,
Absolutely.
Hey, man, y'all got my number. Reach out. Man.
Yes, sir.
When is it? What day is it?
It is. I mean, next year it'll probably be.
It'll be November sometime. Yeah, we'll keep you posted, BP, and you and the alums. It'll be great to have you with LA Football Network.
Bet it up. I'll definitely be there. When is spring ball?
Spring ball. It's
gonna be April.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. April, the spring game, probably like April 15th, April 14th. You coming out for that?
Yeah, they told me I got to come there to get some gear, so I'm definitely about to come up.
Love it. That's awesome.
We'll have to do a link up if we're there, man. But BP, I just want to thank you so much for coming on, bro.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely,
time,
BP.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah,
Thank you.
one of these, man.
Absolutely, man. There we go.
BP to the merge, my man. Yeah.
I bought a UCLA jersey, yeah, because in Michigan,
Yeah,
my wife stopped at Big Sporting Goods by the big house, and she walked in there and luckily saw a UCLA jersey.
Oh.
And so on the tag it said a 2X. I'm like, I can fit that bet, run it. And so I get home, the tags were wrong because the inside tag said 1X, you know, so it was a 1X jersey. And so I still tried to wear it. I brought it. I was like, I'm gonna wear it today, but my nephew was like, it's too tight. So
I could tell you're a Michigan guy now because you're quoting Bo Schembechler, you know, earlier in the pod. You're living out in Michigan now. What's that like, man?
Man, it's good seeing the seasons change, and sometimes you got to get a way to grow up.
Yeah, facts.
We so marginalized out here and oppressed, you know. It's about, like, the in crowd and things that aren't important.
Yeah.
You know, definitely not important to me, or definitely not important to God, or it's not important in life, you know. You get caught up in the wrong crowd.
LA can do that, you know. So.
You know, and I definitely was there at one point. But Michigan, it was just like, just took it back to the basics, and then...
You ever seen like Fargo, like the movie? You know, the people are so friendly, like, "Hey, Margie, how you doing?" Yeah,
it is kind of weird. Like
yeah.
BP, do you see yourself kind of long term in Michigan? Where do you kind of see yourself?
Nah, I don't see long term there.
Yeah,
but it's good while it
lasts. Yeah.
My grandpa just passed.
Oh man,
our condolences.
And that's hard about being away from family like that. You know, her family helps out a lot, but I always miss home. Like, it's so expensive out here, though, once you go to other places.
Yes, man, yeah.
Like, man, it's ridiculous. Like, you'd be like, man, it's so cheap out there, but that's just how crazy LA is.
Right,
like,
right.
It's competitive, man. You know?
Super competitive for what? Like, so you can sit in traffic all damn day?
Right, right.
Yeah.
Like, man, I hate
you get
it.
like $100,000 mansion, too, in a lot of these places. You know what I mean?
For real.
Yeah.
You take a couple $100,000, you get a big spot.
You don't have to leave ever, man.
Yeah.
And the school district is nice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like,
Get the
Michigan
kids
got some good
educated.
schools,
Absolutely, no question about it.
But yeah, sorry about that kid that shut up the school, but that's happening more now. Just these phones and whatnot.
Yeah.
Social media is not healthy, bro.
No, not at all.
We talked about this, man. You know, like if we didn't have to do it for work, I probably would tap out of that
bro,
shit.
You competing all day. These kids you seeing fake stuff and people competing in the wrong way. There's a lot of people depressed out there.
Yeah.
It's proven, man. And this metaverse that's coming through, I mean, are you freaking kidding me?
That's like some Spider-Man crap.
Yeah.
Like, what if that's hell right there, though?
Yeah.
It's a iPhone. Like, what if your soul gets stuck in your phone?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think about stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That shit is real, though.
No, for sure.
Yo, it's just like Bruce Lee say, be like water, right? And so you put water in a pot, it becomes the shape of a pot. So it's like, that's the same with our soul.
Yeah.
You know, we came from dirt, and so with dirt we shall return. So it's like, what happens to our soul when we leave here?
Yeah.
It's like, so anything, hell is, you have no idea what hell is.
Absolutely.
These movies and shit, like.
It's deceiving.
How do you think, BP, as a parent, you know, you're now a parent, you're role model. How do you sort of manage what you want your children to kind of be exposed to and the values that they have, given the challenges, right, of society?
It's super, man. My son think he's Spider-Man now. You know?
We got a young Peter Parker back here.
Yes,
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
But and I got a young daughter. And it's like my family is really like The Incredibles, like every character of The Incredibles. You know, my little son Bruin, his name is like we call him Jack. But it's really hard, you know, like no iPad and phone, but he loves playing video games, and I'm not really a big phone kind of guy. Yeah, so just like making sure they off the internet, not looking at the wrong stuff. But I don't want them looking at the computer all day either.
Right.
Like, my kids are really active, so they like being outside. And so bringing them to places like this to get their energy out.
Yes, absolutely.
So when they get home, they just go to sleep. It's just like backwards here. Like, you cry when people die, but you're so happy when kids are born. It's like backwards. Like, I cried like hell when my daughter was born.
Right.
Yeah,
like
man.
you bringing kids into this world,
Right.
and it's like I don't even know if I'm safe. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like,
right.
No one's really prepared, to
Nah,
have
man.
kids is what I feel like. You just kind of got to jump
You
in.
go with the flow, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you such a good dad. Like, shit, I feel like a horrible dad
Yeah.
today. You know what I'm saying?
It's a daily battle. Is, you know,
It's
what it's-
and what an incredible story, Candace, your lovely wife was telling us about the naming of your son, Bruin, and
Oh, yeah.
she's got the vision
Oh, yeah.
of the cover of the LA Times being Bruin leading the victory over the Trojans,
Yeah,
know.
man. So I've been recruiting at home. I've been doing
Yeah.
my
See, BP, you're the recruiting coordinator already, man. We just got to make that official.
When we get in public, you better talk good about UCLA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better not, we naming our kid Bruin. Now, that was her idea. And so I much respect to her, I never thought I'd be married or have kids, So I call her my unicorn.
That's amazing.
Like
That's how we got connected to you too.
Yes,
Madman.
absolutely.
I was able to talk to Candace. and,
Yeah.
yeah.
she's just a bright light.
Absolutely. What an incredible woman.
And so I was going through a lot. I'm like super depressed after my sister got killed, and she's such a bubbly person,
Totally.
And
yeah.
so like she really compliment me. I'm not really. I can look intimidating when I'm not smiling or whatever. And so like she softened me up a lot, So I
Yeah.
thank God for her opening these kind of doors for me, because like you said, I would have never got on the show without her, So
Absolutely, and just everyone's going through something,
Yeah.
man. I think that's the thing. Like, someone may like come off, mean, but you never like put yourself in their shoes. Like, what were they dealing with today? Like, what type of hell were they going through? So
Man, you look at humans, period. Like God made all of us, and so it's like you godly, he godly, I'm godly. We
we're all a form of God.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And so it's like we all got to respect each other. We not
Facts,
him,
yeah.
and we want to be like him, but we all come from the same seed.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
Like, no matter what color you are, like
All brothers and
You-
sisters of God.
Yes.
yeah,
It's,
for real,
yeah.
and like you going through something real in life.
Yeah.
For
You
sure.
know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't playing. Want to do TikTok and all that crap. People go through real stuff in life.
Yeah.
It's like,
True.
if you see somebody hurting, just like don't laugh. You gotta really respect it, like, cause it can easily be you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
man.
It's like it can easily be you.
That it ain't gonna happen like that. So
Yeah.
like, just that's what I try to do when I get affected by somebody like that now, or someone's giving off that weird negative energy or something. But BP, I just want to thank you so much for coming on, my man.
thanks for
Oh man, talking football, talking life.
Yeah,
What a
man.
great perspective, BP. Please know that
It's
you're
all love,
you're always VIP guest here. Anytime back
yeah.
on the Bruin Bible, we'd love to have you.
Can I
And-
keep this?
Absolutely.
I need y'all to autograph it then.
Ah man, well,
We
do you have
need-
anything to promote, my guy? Like,
Nah,
You're
I'm promoting y'all.
Yeah.
well, we love having you, man.
Absolutely.
And yeah, if we're at the spring game this year, let's link up. Let's have some fun, man.
yeah.
No doubt.
Great
No
to
doubt.
see you, BP.
Thanks so
Yeah,
much,
thank you so
BP.
much.
I appreciate it.